we're the only one on our docket.
Listen to, excuse me. Richard, who is it that you're in front of out in Oakland County?
Pontiac, Judge Gross.
Is that a divorce case or something?
No, Pontiac 50th District Court.
Or
Not,
50, or a landlord-tenant case?
yeah, not Oakland Circuit.
Okay.
Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon, Judge. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Are you waiting for a matter to be called in another court?
I am. It's Judge Gross in Pontiac. It was.
Enough said.
I know, right? It was honestly, Judge, I have a notice of hearing in front of me. It was scheduled for yesterday. And when we went on yesterday, she indicated that she was in the middle of her criminal docket and the court made an error and it was supposed to be scheduled for today. Which doesn't do me a lot of good, nor you, right? Nor Mr. Brand, nor anyone else, but well, like you know Pontiac.
Well, Judge, I will say this. I'm getting a little older. My memory is not always as good as I would like it to be, but I still remember that last week I needed and asked for the court to adjourn it. So I'm not going to be upset with whatever the court decides to do.
Judge, thank you, Mr. Brand. I appreciate the courtesy. I would like to have this case heard. I don't think it's going to take very long, and I can start it now if you'd like. And if and when Judge Gross gets to the other one, I'll see if she'll pass it for a while till we finish ours, or however you want to do it.
I have no problem with starting and stopping if Mr. Brand has no objection.
I have no objection at all to whatever the court wants to do with Mr. Herman. And it's
Okay.
helpful to Mr. Herman, so.
Then, Mr. Herman, I would propose that we start and stop if you need to. My concern is that if we don't even start, that you are another hour or so, then we aren't starting here until after 3. So if you're not opposed and you're able to keep an ear open for Pontiac's calling your case, we can get started.
Yes, if you don't mind, she just disconnected me. Let me just pop in the ID number again, and then we can start, just so she knows I'm still there.
Have the two of you had an opportunity to speak, Mr. Herman and Mr. Brand, since we were here last?
No, Judge, not since we were here.
I don't
Would
think,
that be helpful?
Mr. Brand, you didn't want to do that last time, so I'll leave that question to you.
Last time I wasn't ready. Today I'm ready.
You want to speak?
I'm an attorney. Of course I want to speak.
Okay. I'm good with it, Judge, if you want to put us.
Yeah, Mr. Herman and I had a detailed conversation this afternoon. I informed him that Ms. Rouser had completed her recertification and had.
Can we just pass this for a minute, Judge?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Judge Martin?
Sir.
Judge Gross, I'm her last case. She would like to hear this. Can we just hold off for 5 or 10 minutes? And then we won't.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll mute myself with you and I'll get back as soon as I can.
Okay.
Can we be in a breakout room then, Judge? Or I can just mute myself.
You want, it doesn't matter to me.
I'll
You're
just
the only
mute
thing I have
myself.
on the schedule.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
benches on there. Yeah. But they're all pretty well set up the same way. It's a very nice building. It is, it's very nice building. How long did it take? Well, we were supposed to originally be in, if I remember correctly, in 18. And then they got delayed, and then the pandemic, so then everything is out. So we just came in a month ago. On May 10th, well, I first day that working here.
Judge,
Sir,
hi, I'm done.
are you done?
Yeah, hold on, I gotta turn my volume up. I turned you down so that she wouldn't hear. There we go. I'm good. I'm done with Pontiac. Mr. Brand, you want me to join you in that breakout room now?
Sure, if you want. Sure, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. Is that okay with you, Judge?
Absolutely.
All right, I already have an invite, so I'm just gonna click on.
You should have an invitation, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, I don't see it yet.
I sent it before Mr. Herman left. So at the,
I saw it before he left, and then I didn't go with it because I was still with the court, so.
okay. Do you see the breakout room at the bottom of your screen? You see the button to open it?
I do not have,
Okay.
I do not have it. Go have a seat, please, outside, so I can have a private conversation with the attorney. Thank you.
Mary Ann?
Do you want me to close the room and start over?
You might have to. I don't know what happened.
Were you unable to join, Art?
I was unable to join.
Okay,
Mary Ann's reopening them, Rick.
okay. I think these things are timed.
Now I got it. It
Okay.
just came in.
Okay.
Me too, me too.
Have you told someone about that door?
No, I haven't. It just started yesterday.
It's not necessarily a problem, not necessarily a problem. I don't know.
Right, but maybe it did start what they said. It may have started Monday, yeah. And I was able to push it back in. But now I can't. I mean, I used to push it back in, it would close, but now it just didn't do that. So who would you suggest?
The building manager,
Okay,
just an email.
yeah.
So I,
Was that sufficient time?
yeah, I don't think,
Okay,
Judge, that gonna get very far.
okay. So this is 212134 LT Westlake Apartments versus Tierra Brewington.
Richard Herman, on behalf of the plaintiff,
And Arthur Brand, on behalf of the defendant, I have to go to the next room and get my client because I banished her while I was talking to Mr. Herman. I'll be right
Yes, sir.
back.
Judge, can you put Ms. Valley and I in a breakout room for just a second?
I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm back. I got timed out. I don't know where Kristen is. Let's see if she shows up back here.
Are you ready to proceed, Mr. Herman, as soon as she appears?
Yes, I am.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like she's in the breakout room anymore.
I don't see her anywhere. Where did,
Me neither.
Things had gone so smoothly all day, Mary Ann. Oh, here she is. Wonderful.
Perfect.
Today is the day and time set for a hearing on the plaintiff's complaint for termination of tenancy. Mr. Herman, are you ready to proceed?
Yeah, I suppose, Judge, I just need to ask her one more question. Is it possible? I hate to do this to everybody, but it'll take 1 second, assuming she can get back to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
I'm back, Judge. I'm hoping she'll appear. I'm hoping one day and soon we can do this in person again, right?
We can do it in person whenever you ask for it to be in person.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I don't mind the
Do you
Zoom.
want to drive down to Romulus?
Pardon me?
I said, do you want to drive down to Romulus?
How many times have I done this? A zillion. I'd like to see the new court, actually.
Your witness is back. Mr. Brand, are you ready to proceed?
I am.
Mr. Herman, call your first witness.
Kristen,
Yes, sir.
could you please, for the record, state your name
Kristen Valley,
and your position with Westlake?
associate.
Mr. Herman, give me 1 second. Ma'am, would you spell your first and last name for me, please?
Kristen, Kristen, Valley, Vallie.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear from the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Herman, you may proceed.
Your position with Westlake?
Associate property manager.
Are you familiar with the books and records in this matter?
Yes, I am.
And are you familiar with this particular matter and with the defendant?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did Ms. Brewington sign a lease with Westlake Apartments?
Yes, she did.
Okay, that lease is dated September 5, 2020
That is correct.
to expire on September 4, 2021.
I have September 6, 2021 as the expiration.
Okay, my mistake. And she signed this lease?
Yes, she did.
And did she sign a pet addendum?
She did not.
Okay. You're bringing this cause of action to terminate the tenancy based on violations of paragraph 7, 8, and 9?
That is correct.
Okay. So let's start with paragraph 7. Paragraph 7, paragraph 7 denotes, is entitled character of residence, correct?
That is correct.
I'm
Character of
sorry,
occupancy.
character of occupancy, right. And pursuant to that paragraph, does the resident agree that they will occupy the apartment exclusively as a private residence for themselves and the listed occupants?
That is correct.
And relative to that paragraph, did you become aware that Ms. Brewington posted on Airbnb?
I'm going to object to the question because it's, counsel is testifying, basically. He's needs to ask questions rather than testify.
Did you ever become aware that Ms. Brewington posted on Airbnb her unit for rent?
Yes.
Once again, I object to that question. It's a leading question.
I think, Judge, this is not a jury here. I think you're capable of ferreting out whether or not Ms. Valley is answering that question, or I'm giving the answer to her.
The witness needs to testify as to the violations without being told ahead of time what they are.
I'll sustain the objection. Mr. Herman, if you could just ask your questions, I guess, more artfully.
Okay. With regard to the tell me how you feel Ms. Brewington violated the lease in the first way, in one way.
I'm going
Regarding-
to object to that question on if it calls for a hearsay answer. If it's based on what somebody else told her, it's a hearsay answer. If it's based on her own personal knowledge, go ahead.
So you're going to object before she even answers? You don't know what she's going to say.
Well, your question is, the question of Mr. Herman is calling for a hearsay answer. The question should be, what has she observed or heard?
Have you observed any postings on Airbnb relative to Ms. Brewington's apartment?
Just to get through this, I won't object. But
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Brand.
Yes, I have.
Okay. And how did you become aware of them?
It was brought to our attention that it was on social media. We were able to view the post.
Okay. So you viewed the pictures.
That is correct.
Okay, Exhibit A, I can't really hand them out to you, Judge, but you have them in front of you, as does Mr. Brand. Exhibit A are a series of pictures.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to have to turn around and face my computer here and move my iPhone.
Mr. Herman, what I received from the civil department was a copy of the lease, the various addendums, and a video from that's about an hour long. I don't have any photos. Do you have them?
I sent those to you, Judge. I did send them to the court. I sent everything. I sent Exhibit A through G to the court the same day that I sent them to Mr. Brand. Do you know what date that was, Art, without me having to try to pull it up on my computer?
Let me check here. June the 1st is what I have.
Are they on your computer, or do you have hard copies, Mr. Herman?
I have hard copies, and I did put them on my computer. That's how I emailed them to the court.
if you have them open on your computer, I'm asking, do you want to screen share them? Are you able to do that? Or do you not have them?
I
you're not
don't
looking at
have them
that way?
open, and to be honest with you, I don't know how with Zoom in front of me to do that. I know
Okay.
it's not, sounds ignorant, but
No, not at all. What I'll have Mary Ann do is call down to the civil department because the documents I told you I received is what I received. So I
okay.
don't have these photos that you're referring to. If you want to start your questioning, Mary Ann will make that phone call.
Okay. So, Kristen, have you had a chance to review these pictures that you sent to me?
I have.
Okay. And the first picture is 1 of 17. Do you see that on top?
Well,
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Hold on, Mr. Brand, were you starting to say something?
yeah, I've got to find it because they're not, okay, I've found those pictures. Fine, thank you.
You see you see the numbers on top, Art?
I do.
Okay. And you too, Kristen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, and it's very hard not being next to each other, but, so that
And-
picture, that first picture, what is that a picture of?
The first picture on my end is a picture of a kitchen.
Okay, well, it's not the picture I'm looking at. So what I'm looking at
And
is the first,
I'm sorry, Mr. Brand, Mr. Herman, Sandy is on and says that they did not receive any pictures. Civil hasn't received any photos.
Okay, I can have my office set, I can go out to the outer office where there's a different computer and have them resent to you. Judge, do you want me to resend them to you directly?
No, you send them to civil at 34th District Court -mi .org. I'm sure Katie, whoever's out there, has the email address that Sandy uses.
Yeah, and that's what we did. I'm sorry, civil at 34th District Court -mi.
.org.
I'm sorry, civil, okay, yep, got it, hold tight.
And what I'm hoping is that he sends them to Sandy. Sandy will forward them to me and Mary Ann. If you would be so kind as to bring my laptop off my desk, please.
Okay.
Thank you. You're welcome.
do you want water or anything?
Yep, Mary Ann, I have no power. Mr. Brand, don't leave. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Yeah, Judge, I do show they were sent, but we're doing it all over again, no problem.
That's fine. Sandy's waiting, and she'll send them up to me when they come over. But you were starting to say picture
You want me to
117, and Mr. Brand said that's not the one he has.
Okay, but you changed that, this is the one you have, right? Mr. Brand? You are muted.
Sorry, the one I have starts with number 117.
1
And
over
it's-
17, right?
It purports to be a picture of a TV set over a, I don't know what you call it, a
What?
dresser or something.
I'm sorry, Judge, those did not go through. She's doing it again. Yes, that purports to be a TV set over some sort of a cabinet, and there's a, I guess it's the kitchen in the corner there with a silver wastebasket in front of it, right?
That would be picture number 1. I am going to object to the admission. I know council hasn't offered to ask the court to accept this or these pictures and have them admitted, but I think there has to be some kind of foundation laid for it anyway.
So Kristen,
Yes, sir.
were these pictures kept in the ordinary course of business?
Yes.
And who took those pictures?
The resident.
Okay, the resident took those pictures. These are the pictures, were these the pictures that you saw posted on Airbnb?
That is correct.
Okay. And did you print those pictures off?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
And you kept them in the ordinary course of business?
Yes.
can I voir dire the witness, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So you didn't take those pictures, is that correct, Ms. Valley?
That is correct.
Okay. And you found those pictures somewhere, did you not? Or were they given to you by my client?
They were found online.
Okay. And did you find those pictures online? Yes or no?
Westlake Apartments did.
So the Westlake apartment is a person?
The staff here did.
So would it be fair to say that you didn't find these pictures online? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And have you ever been inside my client's apartment?
That apartment specifically, no.
Okay. So you can't testify as to what is inside that apartment. Would that be a correct statement?
That is correct.
As far as voir dires, I obviously have cross-examination. I don't want to mix my voir dire with my cross-examination. So I don't have any problem with admitting these for whatever purpose the court deems they should be admitted for.
Thank you. Mr. Herman?
Okay. Do you recognize this picture as being a Westlake apartment?
Yes, I do.
Have you been, while you have not been in this apartment, have you been in other apartments in Westlake?
Yes, I have.
And is that a kitchen that you see in the picture?
Yes, it is.
Oh, hold on a second now. We're going to a different picture here?
No, we're not. We're the same picture.
Oh, in the same picture in the corner. Okay. Mhm.
And is that a kitchen that is found in other Westlake apartments?
Yes, it is.
And can you go to picture number 4? Are you there?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Does that look like a picture of a bedroom in a Westlake apartment?
Yes, it does.
The window is situated in the middle of a wall as in other apartments?
Yes.
The next picture, number 5, what's that a picture of?
That is a picture of a bathroom.
Does that look like other bathrooms in Westlake apartments?
Yes, it does.
The vanity, is that vanity the same as in others?
Yes, it is.
Are all the vanities the same in every unit at Westlake?
Yes, they are.
And the light above the vanity, same light in other, as in others?
Yes, it is.
The position of the toilet next to the vanity, same as in others?
Yes, it is.
The next picture, 17. What is that a picture of?
Hold on a minute. Next picture 17. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm skipping some of them. Some of them are just, well, the next
So-
picture.
So it's not the next.
No,
picture.
I'm
You
sorry.
wanna
The
go-
next picture is number 7 out of 17.
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta go back to 7. Thank you.
What's that a picture of?
That is a picture of the dining room area.
Is that dining room area the same as in every other Westlake apartment unit dining room?
For that floor plan, yes.
And it's situated next to the kitchen?
That is correct.
And for that floor plan at Westlake, it's exactly the same layout where the kitchen
Yes,
is
it is.
next to the dining room?
Yes.
Skipping 9 and 10 because they're the same. Going to 11. What-
Objection. I don't think council can testify as to what's the same. He just needs to ask questions.
I said, was it the same? Is it the
Oh.
same?
Oh, was it the same? I'm sorry.
Number 11, Kristen.
Hold on a minute. I gotta go there. Number 11. Okay, thank you.
Do you have a number 11, Kristen?
Yes, I do.
And what's that a picture of?
That is a picture of a bedroom.
Does that bedroom have bunk beds in it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Is that a picture of a bedroom similar to every other bedroom in that floor plan at Westlake?
Yes, it is.
Going to number 12, Kristen, what is that a picture of?
The kitchen.
Is that kitchen the same as every other kitchen in that floor plan at Westlake?
Yes, it is.
Look at the tile on the floor. Is that typical tile on, as in every other apartment at Westlake?
Vinyl, but yes.
The appliances, the kitchen, the refrigerator and the stove, are those also seen in other apartments at Westlake, the same ones?
Yes, they are.
The layout of the kitchen is the same as in others?
Yes, it is.
Number 13. What's that a picture of?
The living room.
Does that living room look similar to the living room, layout of the living room in every other apartment at Westlake of that model?
Yes.
Through the window, what is that?
A balcony overlooking a body of water.
Overlooking what?
A body of water.
Is that balcony similar to every other balcony at Westlake?
Yes, it is.
Is that body of water on the property of Westlake?
Yes, it is.
Number 15. Is that a picture of the living room again?
That is correct.
Different view out the window?
Correct.
Do you see water there?
Beyond the tree, yes.
Do you see through the trees? What do you see?
Additional apartment buildings.
Is that Westlake's apartment buildings?
Yes, it is.
So in your opinion, based on your knowledge as manager, is this a unit at Westlake?
Yes, it is.
And this is what was seen posted on Airbnb?
That is correct.
Okay, Judge, are you with us yet or no?
I am. I have the pictures. I've been following along.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry about that, by the way.
Such is life.
Yeah.
The judge sounds like one of our people here. Such is life.
There you go. Okay. Relative to let's forget that. Is posting and or leasing units out on Airbnb in violation of the lease?
Yes, it is.
What paragraph is that?
Paragraph 7.
Okay. When you became aware of this, did you note your file that such was a violation?
Yes.
There is a document in the stack that I just sent you, Judge, and to you, Mr. Brand. It's got a little B on the upper right-hand corner. It's got a Westlake apartment letterhead. It's dated 10/29/2020. Was this the note in the file for which you just?
Okay, I'm not, excuse me a second, I have to find it. So where would that be? Is that after the pictures?
Yeah, right after the pictures. Very next thing after the picture.
All right.
You're going to see an Exhibit B, a blank sheet that says Exhibit B, and then it's the sheet that follows that.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Herman, all your staff sent were the pictures.
I honestly, Judge, I sat there and I watched them go through the machine, everything that I gave her.
Okay.
Do you need me to do it again?
Sandy
not-
forwarded me what she has, and like I said, all I have are the pictures. So
I will step out there and have her send them back to you.
It's not, I'm going to object to them anyway because they're all based on hearsay.
You
They're
can object all
memorandum
you want, but I think I have a right
Based on hearsay.
to ask. Did you want
Could
me
I-
to resend
Could I
them,
just
Judge?
cross-examine the witness on what we've heard so far?
No, I want an opportunity to send these pictures so that, I mean, these documents so the judge can see them.
I was going to concur with you anyway, Mr. Herman. If you want to take that, whatever it is, you said it's a letter dated 10/29/2020.
Yes, it's a, yes.
Okay.
Okay, meaning you got it, or okay, you want me to
Okay,
send?
meaning send them. Okay, meaning send them over.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't know whether Mr. Brand asked you the question or me. Give me 1 second.
Yes, sir. Marianne, I told you when I got the lease and the addendum, it was too good to be true.
Judge, can I ask you what time you intend to go to if we don't finish?
I'm here until 4.
Okay, thank you.
They're
Do you
trying
need to
to
be
do it
somewhere
again,
else?
Judge.
Maybe
Mr.
we
Brand,
could
do you
just
have
move-
something else scheduled?
No, I'm fine. I have my golf league, but it's not till 5:30, so we're okay.
Okay.
No,
Mr.
but if
Herman,
we're
they
wait-
haven't,
I know,
go
they,
ahead, Mr. Brand.
I just sent it to you. They're sending it a second time. Let's see what
Okay.
happens. Obviously, there's a
will-
glitch somewhere.
I realize it's Mr. Herman's case, but while we're waiting, if I could examine the witness on at least this issue, we could move it along.
I'd prefer to go through everything so that it makes sense to my client and to me and to the court. And even if we have to adjourn and come back again, I'm okay with that.
So you have a letter 10/29/2020.
Yeah, I don't have it. She's got it out there sending to you again, so sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I thought I was on top of it on June 1 when I sent everything,
You probably were on June 1.
but you know what? It just happens. Technology.
Mr. Herman, if I thought to ask you what you were sending when it wasn't here yesterday, I would have had them follow up. It didn't occur to me to get a
Yeah,
list
no
of your
problem.
proposed exhibits.
This whole process is kind of new to everybody. And your court's pretty organized to begin with, so, I mean, the clerks in your court.
They are, and Sandy's on, and she'll, as soon as the email comes through, she'll forward it.
Let me just check and make sure it's gone through.
And Mr. Brand, while we're having these hiccups, the court did receive a 51-minute, I believe, video. Was there anything else that you forwarded over?
Yes, also forwarded over, excuse me. I forwarded a copy of the lease, but then Mr. Herman also did. And a copy of
Okay.
the CDC declaration under penalty of perjury. Basically, that was sent to the leasing company on March 8, 2021, which basically, I assuming the court is aware of this
The court
affidavit.
has that as well. Yes, sir. Mr. Herman, you have your copies back?
Yes, I do.
10/29/2020 letter.
Kristen, can you describe what this document is?
I object to it, Judge, and I object to any witness describing what it is because it's a document based on hearsay without a proper foundation. If somebody wants to testify as to what they have seen, that's one thing, but to use a document that without any kind of foundation whatsoever is a violation of the court rules.
Well, I'm trying to lay a foundation, Mr. Brand. I asked one question, and that was, can she describe the document? That's the first question in laying a foundation.
Objection sustained. I'm sorry. Objection overruled, Mr. Herman.
Kristen, can you
may
describe
ask
what
your
that
question.
document is?
This is a record of violation.
Okay. And how in your company and in your business are these records used?
Again, I object for the same reason that I've already objected to.
And
Which
my
is
same response,
There's
I
no
think should be-
foundation and it's, excuse me, sir. There's no foundation and it's hearsay.
and we're trying to lay a foundation, Judge.
Can't lay a foundation for a document unless the person who prepared that document is here or this witness can testify as to what occurred through her own personal knowledge.
I disagree with you. There are exceptions to the hearsay rule. If you let me lay the foundation and you let me ask the questions, then maybe the judge can rule whether or not it's admissible or not.
I'm not stopping Mr. Herman. I'm just filing my objections. And the
Perfect,
court will rule on them. I'm not stopping Mr. Herman.
perfect.
Thank you. Mr. Herman, proceed.
What is the process for using these documents? This document and others of its nature?
When a violation is observed by a staff member, we are required to complete this form, sign it, and date it to document what we observed.
And this document is a memorandum of a lease violation?
That is correct.
Okay. And the substance of that violation is what?
Again, I object. I guess he testified as to what this memorandum, how this memorandum is kept. But
Okay.
the substance of the violation is hearsay.
Okay, you're so noted. If I can continue, I think, Judge, you'll see it's not really hearsay, but
I don't know how you can get
Please
around
continue.
it, Your
well,
Honor.
why don't you let me ask the questions? I think the
Well,
judge,
I'd like
there's
to
no
get a ruling
jury
on
here.
my
The judge
objection.
the judge thinks it's hearsay.
I can only hear one of you at a time. B, we're not getting anywhere. Mr. Brand, you were saying,
I was saying that the document is hearsay. If they
your
have
objection
witness,
is noted, sir.
Kristen, what violation was this filled out for?
The violation of paragraph 7.
The Airbnb posting?
That is correct.
And did you sign this?
I did not.
Is this kept in the ordinary course of business?
Yes.
Was this in Ms. Brewington's file?
Yes, it is.
And was it prepared for litigation?
Yes.
I'm sorry, was this prepared before the litigation?
No.
When was this prepared?
On October 29th.
So that was before the litigation, before we started this.
Correct.
Okay. Do you see a document dated February 6, 2021?
well, if it's a different document, we're still on this one. I'm asking, the court hasn't accepted that document as of yet and entered into evidence, as far as I know.
Judge, I would ask that you admit this into evidence. I do not believe that it's hearsay. It was kept in the ordinary course of business, on top of which I'm asking her if a violation was filed. I'm not asking her for the truth or validity of what's in that document.
Well, if it's being offered to show that somebody wrote something, I guess that's one thing. But obviously, it has no validity or merit if it's not being shown, if it's not being used to show that a violation occurred. And there is no testimony as to anything other than somebody wrote this down without any testimony of anybody seeing any kind of violation.
I disagree. First of all, I think it was kept in the ordinary course of business, and I think it's a business record exception. On top of which, it's not necessarily being used for the truth and validity. It's being used to show that people complained of violations, whether those violations are true or not. I think by the end of this hearing, Judge, you can make a determination of whether there was a violation.
People who complained about the violations need to be present in court. Otherwise, it has no merit to these proceedings.
I think the fact that violations were complained of does have merit.
The document
Judge,
itself
if you choose to believe them or not, these were actually filed in her file, which is what I'm saying.
Mr. Brand, your objection is noted. It is overruled. Mr. Herman has not requested that the document be received. The court hasn't received a copy of the email yet, so I can't rule on something I haven't even seen. He's referred to it. He's asked his client about it, and he's now moved on to the next document from February 6, 2021. I'm going to assume, Mr. Brand, that your objections are going to be ongoing to documents related to the violations.
Yeah, so I'll save them, Judge.
No, you don't have to save them. You can make them.
Well, they are
Mr.
ongoing.
Herman.
Kristen, the next document dated, what date is that on? What date?
February 6, 2021.
And what is that document?
A notice of lease violation.
And is
Excuse me. I have February 5th. It's dated February 6th. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Is that the same violation?
Yes.
And who is Ashley Dillard?
She is a former leasing supervisor for
And
Westlake.
who is Barbara Kirtley?
She is a property manager for Southport Apartments.
At Southport, okay. And those are people that work for the company, work for Westlake, or either did work for Westlake,
That is correct.
and they
Barbara
drafted this.
Edward Rose.
Sorry?
To be technical, Barbara works for Edward Rose. She is at a different community, but she works for the company.
Okay. And this document indicates that she observed the violation,
That is correct.
and this was signed and dated and put in the file and kept in the ordinary course of business.
That is correct.
There's another document dated February 12th, 2021. You have that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, is that, and what is that document?
A notice of lease violation.
Okay. And can you read after other? Number one, other?
Yes. Apartment is not to be utilized for purposes other than a private residence for leaseholder and
No. On the February 12th. Number one, it says A, B, F, G, and G is other.
I think we are looking at different documents.
I think we are too. Do you see a document dated February 12th, 2021, signed by Ashley Dillard?
Yes, I have that one now.
Okay, can you read other?
Yes. Resident has been asked previously to remove the apartment from sites such as Airbnb and Facebook because the apartment was not supposed to be used for purposes other than a private resident. As of 2/12/2021, after reviewing Facebook Marketplace, the apartment is still posted for others to use as a rental space for business/Airbnb.
So she's been asked previously not to do this.
Objection, counsel shouldn't be testifying.
Has she been asked previously not to do this?
Yes, she has.
Did you send Ms. Brewington a violation letter?
Yes,
Is that the letter dated October 29th, 2020?
yes.
And it indicates on the bottom under other, what does it indicate?
Let me go back to that document. October 29th, 2020, under other, it states apartment is being utilized and rented out as an Airbnb posting on Facebook and Airbnb have been found.
So that was a violation notice. Did you also send a violation notice dated February 6th, 2021?
Yes,
And did you send a violation letter dated February 12th, 2021, all for the same issue?
yes.
Thank you. How else do you feel that Ms. Brewington has violated the lease, breached the lease?
Objection to the question calls for a conclusion. And
Do you believe
it's
that she
leading.
violated the lease in other ways?
Yes,
You believe she violated the lease by breaching the quiet enjoyment of others?
yes.
What paragraph would that fall under?
Paragraph 9.
Have you, without talking about the truth or validity of it, have you received complaints of noise by other neighbors?
Yes, we have.
Objection calls for hearsay.
Did you receive any,
Excuse me. I objected.
Your response to the objection, Mr. Herman?
my response is that I was going to try to introduce a letter complaining about the noise, at which point my response would be that is a business record on top of which, not necessarily for the truth or validity of what's in that letter, but the fact that she actually received a letter.
But unfortunately, they're trying to remove my client based on the truth and validity of something that they claim they're not trying to show the truth and validity of.
And
And
again, I think,
it's only normally in the course of business.
I think that, again, it's in the normal course of business. I think that the fact that people are complaining, whether it's true or not, that's up to Mr. Brand to refute. But I think, Judge, you can see, you can make that determination on your own.
Your objection is overruled, and I have now received the copies of the documents that you're referring to.
Okay, great. So Judge, just so you know where we're at, we're on C, Exhibit C, the first document after my paper that says Exhibit C.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so so what date did you receive a letter from somebody complaining of noise?
February 22nd, 2021.
Have you received other complaints as well
Yes, we have.
from this particular neighbor?
I cannot be for certain on that.
Okay. Can you read the third sentence of that letter? Starting with however?
Yes. However, these tenants have not lived here for 6 months yet, and this is the second time they have been reported.
Okay. Have other folks made complaints to you of noise?
Yes.
Again, I object to the hearsay.
Are you aware
Overruled.
of whether or not Ms. Brewington had a dog?
Can you repeat the question?
Are you aware of whether or not Ms. Brewington had a dog?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are dogs allowed at Westlake?
Yes, they are.
And what do you have to do, if anything, to maintain or house a dog or any other animal at Westlake?
We require prior written consent from the landlord. The dog will be added to the lease. There is an addendum created and charges that come with that.
And did Ms. Brewington fill out a pet addendum, fill out a pet addendum,
No, she did not.
pay the extra charges,
No, she did not.
get Westlake's approval?
No, she did not.
How did you become aware that she had a dog?
The dog was seen on her balcony.
Okay, object to the hearsay unless it was seen by this witness.
And who saw the dog on the balcony?
Object to its hearsay, Judge.
Mr. Herman, did you hear his objection?
I did. I guess I don't know whether she saw the dog or not unless I ask her.
Well, the question was, who saw the dog, not did you see the dog?
Was a dog seen on the property?
Yes, it was.
Did you see the dog?
I did not.
Okay. Who saw the dog?
Maintenance technician Mackie Harper.
And was a violation letter placed in the file denoting the same?
Yes.
Is that the letter dated March 5?
Yes.
Did you send a notice of violation to Ms. Brewington for maintaining that dog?
Yes, we did.
What was the problem with having the dog, other than it was unauthorized?
The dog was left unattended on her patio for an extended period of time.
Okay.
Objection to the hearsay, Judge.
Judge, I think the letter to Ms. Brewington kept in the ordinary course of business, and as a result, I think you can put as much weight to it as you would like.
Which letter is that? I didn't see that letter, sir.
March 6th, 2021. On the upper right-hand corner, it has a sloppily written E.
Okay, excuse me. Is that part of Exhibit F?
That is part of Exhibit E.
It's actually Exhibit D, Mr. Herman. We're talking about the dog, right?
Yeah, I'm not finding it.
Well, it's actually part of Exhibit. I had a page in between it. It said Exhibit E. And then after that is this letter of violation for the dog making too much noise. It's
That's a
dated
letter of,
upper right-hand corner, March 6, 2021.
okay. Got it.
Did you see that, Mr. Brand?
I see it.
Okay, Judge, you too?
I do.
Okay. Was another notice of violation sent regarding the dog? I'm sorry, regarding noise,
Yes,
dated April 2, 2021?
that is correct.
What kind of noises were being made at the bottom under other?
Again, is that part of Exhibit E?
Yes. It should have been, you know, this is the third or fourth time this has been emailed out, so I apologize if things got out of order.
Well, I'm looking at yelling and slamming doors around 1
Yeah,
a.m.
that's it, at 1 o'clock in the morning, right. On the very top right, April 2, 2021.
Mhm.
Was that sent to Ms. Brewington?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Relative to under exhibit, I'm gonna guess it, under exhibit G, did you send a letter to Ms. Brewington dated March 6, 2021 about dog waste?
Let me pull that up real quick to verify.
Upper right-hand corner, March 6, 2021.
Yes.
I see one dog barking. That's the March 6th. Is there another one?
Yeah, there's another one, March 6th. The bottom, it says other dog waste. You see
Is
that?
that part of Exhibit E?
It's part of
It
exhibit.
looks like G.
G. In fact, that document in the upper right-hand corner has a sloppily written G on it too.
Okay, well, let me find G.
You find it, Kristen?
Not yet.
Yours won't have a sloppily written G.
Correct.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
You find it, Kristen?
You said dated March 6th?
Yes.
No, I'm not able to locate that one.
Okay. Did you have complaints that dog waste was thrown off of her balcony?
Objection,
Yes.
hearsay.
There is a picture dated, a bunch of pictures dated 3/6/21 in Exhibit G. There's one with containers on the ground, little plastic
Objection.
containers.
The witness needs to testify about what's on the ground, not be told by Mr. Herman. I
Well,
see a key on the ground.
I'm trying to describe the document so everybody can locate it. Typically, if I was in person, I'd be handing it and I wouldn't have to describe it. So I
Well,
understand we have,
The court rules don't
Academic
allow
hearing things
for
are a little different.
attorneys to describe things. They're supposed to ask what is there.
Do you see a picture, Kristen, with grass and look like cement patio blocks with something on them?
Yes, I do.
Can you describe what those somethings are?
Disposable dog food dishes.
Do you know where they came from?
Yes, I do.
Where did they come from?
13205.
Whose unit is that?
Tierra Brewington.
I'm looking at another picture that's dated 3/6.
Excuse me, can I have just a second? Please.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
That is exhibit what? Exhibit F?
G. They're all
G.
under Exhibit G. There was
Okay, exhibit
all the
G,
dog
thank you.
waste and dog stuff was under G.
Okay, thank you.
Was that you, Judge?
No.
Okay, sorry. Kristen, I'm looking at a picture of a building and balconies. Can you find that one? There's actually two.
Yes.
And what floor does Miss Brewington live on?
The second floor.
Okay. And do you see her unit in both of those pictures?
Yes, I do.
Do you see it's really hard to see?
Excuse me, I'm not looking at the same picture. I'm looking at a first floor entrance or exit. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Do
I
you
need to
this
be
picture,
with you.
Mr. Brand?
Mhm.
Look at your screen. Look at this picture.
Okay, thank you.
And there's two of them. They look identical at first blush.
Oh, there's two of them?
Did you find it?
Okay, yeah.
So Kristen, do you see a black magic marker circle on both of those?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what is encircled by that magic marker?
A small white dog.
And that's Ms. Brewington's unit?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Have you had any complaints of noise recently within the last few days?
Within the last week or so, yes.
Past the time that past June 1, when these documents were sent to the court and to Mr. Brand?
Yes.
Exhibit F, there is a notice of lease violation dated May 10th. What is that for?
Excuse me. You gotta give me the opportunity to at least find what
Okay,
you're looking
no
for.
problem, no
Since it's
problem,
not
no
in-
problem.
Excuse me back. Since it's not in the order of, that you're talking here, I don't know where it is.
It's
Exhibit
under F. And this
Okay, we're
one,
going back up to F. Thank you.
and this one has an F in the upper right-hand corner as well.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
What is that document, Kristen?
Mine are in a different order. You said it's dated.
Document dated May 10th, May 10th, 2021. This document.
I do not have a document dated May 10th.
Upper right-hand corner, May 10th, 2021.
Give me just one moment.
Take your time. Top of it says notice of lease violation. Bottom of it says changing locks.
I have a lease violation dated May 4th.
Yeah, that's it. That's the date of the violation. For some reason, May 10th is typed above that. I don't know why.
Okay, I do have that document in front of me.
And what is that a violation? Was that sent to Ms. Brewington?
Yes, it was.
For what reason?
An unauthorized lock change on the apartment.
Did she provide keys to you when she changed the locks?
No, she did not.
With regard to her dog, what were the complaints?
Loud noises, the excessive barking, being left unattended on the balcony for long periods of time, dog waste falling from the balcony, as well as the disposable dog dishes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Mr. Brand,
Mr. Brand, you're muted.
I was saying I'm not gonna be able to finish this today, Judge, but I'll give it a try. So, Ms. Valley, there seems to be a lot of notices of lease violations that you indicated were sent to my client. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And that's part of the apartment file. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Did you sign any one of those notices of lease violations?
I would have to check for you.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that if you did sign any, most of them were signed by somebody else? Would that be a fair statement?
That is correct.
And just so we understand, where is your office? Where do you work?
In the clubhouse?
Okay. So we're talking about the Westlake Apartments, right?
That is correct.
And when you say in the clubhouse, where is the clubhouse?
Towards the front of the property.
Okay. And who owns Westlake Apartments?
Edward Rose and Sons?
Okay. And I assume he owns other apartment buildings. Would that be correct?
That is correct.
And do you work at more than one apartment complex?
No, I do not.
For Mr. Rosenson?
No,
Okay. Have you ever had any direct contact with my client? Ever?
no, I have not.
Have you ever met my client?
No, I have not.
If you saw my client, would you know what she looks like?
No,
Would it be fair to say that you have no direct knowledge of any violation whatsoever? Is that correct?
I'm going
Other
to
what-
object. I think
other
you've
than-
got
excuse me.
knowledge. What's direct?
Well, I'll finish the question. Would it be fair to say that you have no direct knowledge of any of these violations other than what somebody told you or wrote? Is that correct?
that is not correct.
What direct knowledge do you have from anything that you actually saw?
The lock change, the unauthorized lock change.
Okay, well, let's talk about that lock change for a moment. What was the date of the lock change?
I have no idea when the locks were changed.
Do you remember somebody being murdered on the premises in May, early May of 2021?
Yes, I do.
Now, your office is, you said, excuse me, I forgot what you said. It's in the, what?
Towards the front of the property.
In the what part of the property is your office?
Towards the front of the property.
Okay,
in the clubhouse, I think was her answer, Mr.
thank
Brand.
you. In the clubhouse, thank you. Is the clubhouse where the offices are of the Westlake Apartments?
Yes.
And how many people work there besides you?
13.
Okay. Were you a party you obviously, since you had no contact with my client, you weren't a party to the signing of the lease, were you?
No, I was not.
And were you aware of this murder that occurred in early May 2021?
I am aware of it.
And how close to my client's premises where she lives was the apartment where this murder occurred?
I would not be able to give you a distance.
Okay, do you know where that apartment was?
Yes, I do.
Where was it? In
Of where-
relation to my client's apartment?
How would you like me to describe that?
In relation to my client's apartment, where was it?
The murder occurred in building 5. Your client lives in building 13.
And you don't, is it directly across from my client's apartment, if you know? Pardon me?
It is not.
Okay. And if I were to tell you that that's the reason why she changed the locks, would you know whether that was true or not?
I would not know whether that was true or not. It was never communicated with the leasing office.
And if I told you that she took a key to the leasing office right away after she changed the locks, but she didn't give it to you, she gave it to another one of your 13 associates, would you know if that's true?
I would not.
Okay. So when you testified earlier that she didn't give you a lock, you were only talking, a key, I should say, or a lock, you were only talking about yourself. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, I want to draw your attention to the allegation regarding these Facebook posts and Airbnb posts. Excuse me a second. Okay. Do you have any of the actual Facebook posts that you're referring to?
Yes, I do.
And where are they?
I have them printed and documented attached to the resident's profile.
Okay. Can I see one of those Facebook posts that you're referring to?
How would you like me to provide that to you?
I want to see it right now.
How would you like me to
I'm a
provide it
little
to you?
confused, but were those not the posts that we showed already today?
No, we did not.
Those
We showed
pictures,
no Facebook posts.
the pictures,
We showed no Facebook posts.
those
I
pictures
need
came
to see
from,
those Facebook posts that you say that your staff or yourself looked at.
Give me just a moment. I'd be happy to turn my computer around and show you.
We
How-
can
I
try
mean,
it
I
that
got-
way.
Times how you would like me to provide it to you. If you could give me a way to provide this document to you, I'd be more than happy to do so.
I also need to see copies of any Airbnb posts. Okay?
Okay, how would you like?
Well,
me to-
I don't know how the court wants to do this. We're going to run out of time, it looks like today anyway. What time is it?
3:37.
Okay, we have time. How would the court like me to get those posts and the court to get those posts, Judge?
If she wants to, are you using 2 devices, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I was gonna say screen share, if you were gonna turn your computer around, or do you want her to send print screens, Mr. Brand? What do you want?
I'm a little bit like Mr. Herman. I'm kind of challenged, so I don't even know what you meant, Judge.
Ms. Valley, let's try you turning your computer around as you were starting to do.
Bear with me.
Thank you.
You'll have to tell me if this is able to be seen.
It is not by me.
can you move it closer to your camera? I can see that. Can you not see that?
I cannot see that.
Judge, can you?
I can see it.
Well, I can't. So what
Would
is
you
it?
like
Is
me
it?
to email you a copy of the document?
Whatever the court wants to do is fine with me.
Email is fine. Oh,
Well, let's try it a different way, okay, ma'am? What is the Facebook name of the person who sent those posts?
I've already closed out of them. Give me a moment to pull them back
Oh,
up.
sure.
Tiara Brewington.
Okay. And okay. And so Tierra Brewington is the person who sent these posts. So you're looking at these posts. The court can't look at it either, or isn't, or can't, or neither can I. So I'd like you to tell me where it states the address of the premises that are being posted by, you say, Miss Brewington. What is the address on the post?
Van Buren, Michigan is the only address provided from what I'm
Okay.
looking.
And would you read for the court and myself exactly how this post is written?
The post that I am looking at states
Yeah.
Belleville Lake Luxury Loft. Link below. There is a
Excuse
phone
me,
number.
excuse me. Can you go a little slower? Go ahead,
Would you like me
go
to start
ahead,
over?
please.
Belleville Lake
Mhm.
Luxury Loft, parentheses, link below. A phone number, 734-686-0915. Property manager, SAL, with a link below for Airbnb.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Would you consider the apartment that my client is living in to be a luxury loft?
No,
Did it ever occur to you that she might be advertising premises that are different than the one that she is living in?
no,
So in that post, is there an address of the premises that she is alluding to?
no.
Okay. Do you have Airbnb posts, or are they all by way of Facebook?
All of Facebook.
What is the date?
One Airbnb. Give me just one moment to locate that.
Okay.
Okay, I have located the screenshots.
Sorry, you've located the screenshot of what?
Of the Airbnb post.
Okay. First of all, on that Facebook post, what's the date of that post?
Let me go back. I do not have a date on the picture.
Okay.
I have a
So,
date. It was uploaded to the residents.
no, I didn't ask you when it was uploaded. I'm asking you the date of the Facebook post. That's my question.
You got it. I do not have that definite date in front of me or available to share with you.
Okay. How many Facebook posts do you have on as far as this alleged Airbnb business is concerned?
I have, it looks like one post.
Just that one post that you don't have a date for.
That's correct.
And how many Airbnb, the Airbnb posts, if they're not on Facebook, how are they, where'd you find them?
The post on Facebook had an Airbnb link, and I have printouts of that link once it was followed.
Okay. And is that just one link that you're talking about?
That is correct.
What's the date of the link on Airbnb?
The date on the printouts that we have is October 26th.
No, not the printout, the date of the actual
The
Airbnb
prinouts are of
post.
the Airbnb. So when these were printed out of the posting that we saw, I have a date showing October 26th.
Okay. So this would be, if I understand you correctly, this would be on Airbnb's website. Is that correct? Or don't you know?
Correct.
Well, actually, it's not, is it? It's on TripAdvisor. Isn't that what it is?
I have a link in the hyperlink. It states Airbnb.
Okay. Anywhere on anything I just asked you about, does it state the address of the premises?
No, it does not. It states Van Buren, Michigan.
I didn't ask you that. I said, does it state the address of the premises? And your answer is no, it
I was
does
under
not.
the impression that Van Buren was part of an address. There's no street address, but the city and state are listed.
So
I'm
the
sorry.
answer is it does not state an address. Is that correct?
It does not state a street address.
All right. And there are other homes in Van Buren Township in Belleville. Isn't that right?
You got it. Absolutely.
Thank you. Now, in looking at the Airbnb, I think it's the Airbnb exhibit.
That Exhibit A?
Well, I'm looking to see, yes, it's part of Exhibit A. So as we go through Exhibit A,
Yours doesn't have an Exhibit A, Kristen. It's just gonna be,
Oh,
what you just showed.
that'll be helpful. Okay. I see where it states let me hold on just a moment here. I see where there's some conversation here. Is that correct? Do you see that?
I do.
Anywhere in that conversation, do you see where it says
What are you looking at,
Antoinette
Mr. Brand?
Fincher? Do you see where it says Antoinette Fincher?
Judge,
Mr. Brand, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at Exhibit A as I move from one page. It's the third page I'm looking at.
Thank you.
Antoinette Fisher. It seems to be a conversation, perhaps
I do see
on
that.
Facebook. On Facebook, Antoinette Fisher. Do you see that?
The document that I'm still looking at is what's claimed to be from TripAdvisor.
Okay, let's move on to the conversation on Facebook. There's a big F, and I'm having problems because it was all delivered to me. Like, it's not straight. I have to look like this in order to see it sideways. Antoinette Fisher, they always pay out the second day, and if the long term, then host receives payment every 30 days. Do you see that?
Yes, I
Top of
do.
the page. Okay. And then there's an answer by Tierra Brewington. Anywhere in there, does it indicate the address of the premises that they're talking about with this Airbnb?
No, I do not see that.
Okay. Now you have pictures, right? And your testimony is that these pictures mirror the inside of the types of apartments that Westlake rents out. Is that your testimony?
That is my testimony.
Have you ever been in Tierra Brewington's apartment?
I have not.
Do you have any idea what the furniture in Tierra Brewington's apartment looks like?
I do not.
Okay. Are you certain, to 100% certain, that this apartment is a Westlake apartment or not?
Yes.
Okay. And what makes you 100% certain?
The layout of the apartment is identical to the other layouts of our 2x2 apartments here at Westlake.
Okay. And if my client were to testify that this is not a Westlake apartment, but it is a home that was occupied by her mother in Belleville or that area, would you know whether that was true or not?
Of course not. That would be her testimony.
Well, you wouldn't know whether her testimony was accurate or not, would you?
I would have no idea.
Okay. And that's because you're really not certain that this is a Westlake apartment, are you?
I'm going to object. That's not what she's saying. That's mischaracterizing what she said. I don't even think she understood your question if you want to know the truth.
Well, I don't
Want to know the truth, why don't you be straightforward, ask her what you want and let her answer.
If you look at the top of these pages, and we'll start with the one that is excuse me. It would be number 117. You see that?
1 out of 17.
117, 1/17. You see that?
I do.
Okay. And these came off of Facebook, right? Or if you know, or the Airbnb site, if you know.
They are in the same exhibit as the Airbnb TripAdvisor post. That is my assumption they came from there.
Okay, so you don't know exactly where they came from, do you?
I did not print these off, no.
Okay, and if you look at every one of these pages, it says at the top, Belleville Lake Luxury Estate, huge home, pro decor. Does that sound like a Westlake apartment to you?
No.
Then it says lofts for rent in Belleville, Michigan. Is that a loft that my client is living in?
No.
Now, is the Westlake Apartments on a lake?
3 ponds.
I'm sorry?
It is not on a lake, no.
Okay. May I have a moment, Judge?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Each and every one of these pages not only say what I already asked you, but it says Belleville Lake, doesn't it?
Belleville what? I didn't hear you.
Belleville Lake. Doesn't
Where does it say that?
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Each and every page says Belleville Lake. Excuse me, I'm have to scroll down again. Each and every one says Belleville Lake Luxury Estate. Isn't that what it says? On top of each and every one of those 17 pages?
In order to testify to that, please let me review each and every page.
Well, we can take them one at a time. Does 117 say Belleville Lake on it?
Yes, it does.
Does 217 say Belleville Lake on it?
Yes, it does.
Does 317 say Belleville Lake on it?
Yes, it does.
Does 417 say the same thing?
To save time of the courts, I have reviewed all of the documents and they do state that at the top of each page.
Thank you. Where is Belleville Lake in relationship to the Westlake Apartments?
How would you like me to describe that to you?
Well, actually, I would like you to either answer it or say you don't know if you don't know.
I don't understand how to answer the question you are asking.
In terms of miles or feet, in terms of miles or feet, how far away is Belleville Lake from the West Lake Apartments?
I'm going
I
to
would have-
object. I don't think it's ever been decided whether there is a Belleville Lake or not. Is there a
You know where
Belleville
Belleville
Lake called
Lake is, don't
Belleville?
you? You know where Belleville Lake is, don't you? It's right off of I-94.
I know where Belleville Lake is. Okay.
As do I. I would have no way of being able to accurately tell you how you are asking in miles or feet of the distance between Belleville Lake and Westlake Apartments. So I am not comfortable answering that question.
Okay, where specifically are Westlake Apartments?
Off of Belleville Road at
Belleville
101
Road and what?
Westlake Circle.
How far away is that from I-94?
I would have no way of being able to answer that question off the top of my head. If you would like me to Google it, I would be willing to do so, but my testimony is that I don't know how to accurately answer that question.
If you were driving a motor vehicle, how long would it take you?
You know, I'm going to object. She's
Mr. Brand,
Answer.
she has told you, she has already said at least 3 times that she cannot give you an accurate estimate. Would you?
Yeah, I
move
thought
on,
it would
please?
help to give her let her do it in terms of time on a car. All right, thank you, Judge. So let's talk for a few minutes about some of these exhibits. Okay? The first exhibit, we're on Exhibit B, October the 29th. Okay? Who's Ashley Dillard?
Ashley Dillard is a former leasing supervisor.
Okay. And so she would be the one who allegedly observed the Airbnb postings. Is that correct?
That is correct.
But it says here that this apartment is being utilized and rented on Airbnb postings. Is that correct?
Where are you reading from?
Number one, apartment
Number
is
one
being
what?
utilized and rented out as an Airbnb postings on
Line 1
Facebook.
on Exhibit B, Mr. Herman.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'll be more specific in the future. But you said there was only one posting, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, I'm just moving along as I go along. So all the rest of these on Exhibit B deal with Facebook postings, right? As an Airbnb. So none of these are any different. Is that correct?
I don't have the same paperwork outlined that you do in front of you, so I don't know what all is included in Exhibit B to be able to accurately answer that question.
Well, I'm sorry, but this is the way it was given to me. So what I'm trying to figure out is why it is on October 29th. That would be the first posting on Exhibit B. It states the following lease violation was observed on October 29th as an Airbnb posting on Facebook. You saw that, right?
I'm not sure what you're referring to, Mr. Brand.
Well, and I apologize, but it seems like everybody has different exhibit orders here or
No,
something.
no, everybody has exactly the same thing, except for Kristen. Kristen gave them to me. I put them together as exhibits to give to you and the judge. I did not give her a copy of that.
Okay, well, I'm talking to Kristen, so the rest of us are looking at it the way you sent it to us. At
Right,
any
that's
rate,
why she's
so we have this
confused.
letter on October 29th. And then if we go down to the next letter, it states that the following lease violation occurred on 2/5/21. So that would have been about 4 months later. Is that correct?
I'm going
That
to
is-
object because I'm not sure it's clear what you're referring to. Happy to
I'm
answer the
referring to the
question, but
very next exhibit, which
what's the next exhibit?
unfortunately,
Give
excuse
some
me,
Mr. Herman, Mr. Brand, at the very top of the page that you're referring to, what does it say?
you mean the exhibit or the exhibit number?
On the exhibit that you're referring to, does it have a letter in the upper right-hand corner?
The first one dated October 29th does have a B. The next
Is that the
one,
document you're referring to?
yes. The next one
Okay.
I was referring to dated February 6th, which is the next one, which if Miss Valley doesn't have them in the same order we do, causes an issue.
But if she doesn't have the same order, my suggestion is, and my question to you was going to be, February 6th, it says memorandum for record attached to file copy of violation letter. Is that the document you're looking at?
Yes, Judge.
And if we describe it to Ms. Valley that way, and she flips through her things, and all of us can be looking at the same thing at the same time.
Okay, so we're talking about February 6th, 2021. Do you have that in front of you? So the
No,
answer
ma'am,
is
it's
yes
the
or no.
memorandum for the record.
The answer is, do you have that in front of you? That's the question.
I'm attempting to confirm that. Please give me a moment.
Thank you.
I do have it in front of me now.
Okay, so it says here, number one, the following lease observation was observed on 2/5/21 by Barbara Kirtley and Ashley Dillard. And then it says, apartment is posted on Facebook. I'm losing my voice, excuse me. Apartment is posted on Facebook Marketplace as an Airbnb, correct?
It does state that.
But didn't you testify earlier that there was only one posting that you had from Facebook,
I'm going to
the
object.
apartment?
That was not her testimony. Her testimony was that she only saw one.
You have your records, is that correct, with you here today from the apartment regarding this apartment that my client was leasing? Is that correct?
That is correct.
Please go through your records and tell me whether or not it's true that you only have one Facebook posting that engendered the letter back in October of 2020, and not another one that engendered the letter on February 5th of 2021.
That is correct.
Okay, so therefore, the second alleged lease violation on February 5th, 2021 is just the first lease violation. Why would you send two violations for the same incident?
In February, the grounds of this lease violation being issued was that there was an additional posting of subletting observed.
Okay, once again, I already asked you, do you have another posting from
I don't
Facebook?
have that with me today to provide to you.
Okay, so you have no record with you to show us, to show the court that there was any more than that one posting that engendered the October 2021 letter to my client. Is that a fair statement?
That is a fair statement.
All right. So now let's go to the next letter, which is dated 2/12/2021. And then it again says, and I'm going to, because I know you may have trouble finding it, February 12th, 2021, number one. Do you see that?
I've located it, yes.
And it says again, under G, under one, The following lease observation was observed on 2/12/21. Resident has been asked previously to remove the apartment from sites such as Airbnb and Facebook. And because the apartment was not supposed to be used for purposes other than as a private resident. As of 2/12/21, after reviewing Facebook Marketplace, the apartment is still posted for others to use as a rental place. But once again, the only record you had was from October of 2020 on Facebook. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Why would you send out 3 letters and make it sound like there have been 3 separate incidents here?
I had not sent out these letters. These letters were sent out by Ashley Dillard, who at that time on her testimony and the record of violation stated that she had observed those postings at that time that the violations were issued.
But you have no record to substantiate that. Isn't that
I'm
correct?
going to object. She has testified that these documents signed by Ashley indicate what they indicate. I think the documents speak for themselves.
They do, but
Whether
it's
she
kind of
saw
strange.
them or not, somebody else in the company saw them. That's
These-
what the bottom line is, Mr. Brand.
In essence, these documents speak for nothing, not for what they're intended
That's
to
in your
prove.
opinion, sir.
Just show me on the 3rd occasion where this was engendered because of another incident on Facebook,
If
but you
she
don't
can-
have one. Is
if
that
she
correct,
can
Ms. Bell?
show you. I think she's already testified she's only seen one posting. Obviously,
Ma'am.
Ashley saw others.
Isn't it part of your job to keep these postings in the file of the person that you're sending the letter to?
I'm
The
going-
record of violation is the employee's testimony that they had observed the violation. They sign and date stating that they, as an employee, have observed a violation of the residence lease. That is what was completed. That is our best practice. That is what was conducted.
Then why do you have a Facebook posting in your file from October of 2020 if all you're interested in is what some employee tells you?
That one was saved when it was first observed. The resident was given a warning to remove the post when
Wait,
they
you
were
want to
not.
answer my question?
I think she's
Why do
trying
you
to.
have-
I'm gonna
She
object.
was answering, Mr. Brand, she
Yes,
was
ma'am.
answering the question. Ms.
Not
Valley,
my
will you finish
question.
with your response?
The Facebook posts were saved when they were first observed. The resident was given a verbal warning after that and asked to remove the posts. Once they were not removed and when they were continually to be observed is when the continuing of violations occurred. That is why the original screenshots were saved to the resident's post.
Okay. So let's move on. I'm having a little bit of difficulty because it seems to be jumping here. Oh, excuse me for just a minute. Okay, I think we were talking about February 12th of 2021.
We were,
Okay. The next one on your list here goes back to October 29th of 2020. So it says there was another violation on October 29th of 2020. Is that correct?
You're referring to a lease violation for dated October 29th?
Yes.
I think what he's referring to is the letter
The letter.
to
Yeah, the
Tiara,
letter of October 29th.
not the
they're all
notice
letters.
violation for your file.
They're all letters. They're
No.
all
I'm sorry.
notices of
I'm
police
sorry.
Why don't
violation.
you ask her? Some of them are internal memos for the file, and some of them were letters that were sent to the tenant. You'll find
I'm
one of each.
still unsure of what's being asked of me. I was unable to hear Mr. Herman.
I guess
October-
my objection is I don't believe that she understands what is being asked.
Well, I don't understand it myself, so let me back it up. Are you saying,
You know what,
Well,
Judge, may I chime in for 1 minute?
no, I need to ask my
no,
question.
Mr. Herman, let Mr. Brand ask his question.
So is it what you're saying is the first documents that I asked you questions concerning on Exhibit B are memorandums which were not necessarily sent to my client. Is that correct?
The record of violations are not sent to the resident. That is correct.
Okay. So we already talked about October 29th, February 6th, and February 12th. So the next documents on Exhibit B would be the actual letters that were sent to my client as a result of those 3 incidents. Is that correct?
Dated for October 29th. That is correct.
October 29th is number 1. The second letter is dated February 6th, and that would be as a result of the memorandum in February. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then the third one is February 12th. And so you don't have any, strike that, you answered the question. Okay, now let's go to Exhibit C.
Mr. Brand, while we get ready to go to Exhibit C, I'm going to make an indication that it is 4:10. I don't mind sitting here with you all for another hour or two. But are you going to need much more time, and do you intend to call a witness?
Yes and yes.
So do you want to keep going tonight, or do you want me to schedule, do you want to break after you ask your questions about Exhibit C and start thinking about a return time?
Yes, I would appreciate that, Judge.
Okay, tomorrow, what is your schedule, Mr. Herman? Do you have any availability tomorrow afternoon?
I'm just gonna step away from the computer for a minute and grab my book, please.
And your client as well, Mr. Brand and Ms. Brewington, tomorrow at 1 to resume, if that's possible?
I'm not available tomorrow. Let me see though. Tomorrow's
Tomorrow's the 10th.
No, I think tomorrow, I've got the wrong month. Sorry. Tomorrow is the
Judge,
10th.
tomorrow afternoon, I actually, believe it or not, I have the first in-person meeting with clients. So it's like unbelievable.
So Friday, I think Mr. Brand has a scheduling problem as well. So Friday, the 11th, in the morning, 10-ish?
I have,
I
Go ahead.
can't do it in the morning. Monday, I'll be in try. I could do it in the afternoon on
No,
Friday.
no, Mr. Brand, Friday afternoon. You can't do Friday morning. Can you do Friday afternoon?
I can do Friday afternoon.
you said you can, C-A-N?
Can, yes.
So can I.
Friday at 1, 6/11 at 1.
That'll be fine, Judge. Thank you.
6/11 at 1.
Ms. Valley, are you available?
Yes, I am.
Ms.
So,
Brewington, are you available?
Yes, ma'am.
so if we're gonna do that, can we just adjourn today and start it up then? And the only reason I ask is because in an hour, I have a board meeting by Zoom that I need to pull things together for. Doesn't seem like Exhibit C's gonna get us much further than if we wait till Friday.
Oh, I only have one question about Exhibit C
Go
anyway.
ahead then.
That okay, Judge?
Absolutely.
Okay. So there's a letter dated February 22nd. Now it's 2021. Who wrote the letter?
A resident from Building 13.
Uh-huh. What is the name of the resident who wrote the letter?
I'm going to object, Judge. I think there's some intimidation factor going on here, which is exactly why the person didn't sign this letter and didn't show up in court. Otherwise, we would have had that person here. I'm not sure that it's important that we know the name. I think the words speak for themselves. The name isn't going to change those words.
It's called due process. It's
not
called
called
the
due
right, it's the
process.
right
I
to
mean-
cross-examine the witnesses that are against you. If
That's
they're
right, but
going
you
to-
don't have that
excuse me,
witness here.
Excuse me. If they're going to use a letter from an individual and I don't have the right to cross-examine that person, what is the validity of the letter?
but you don't have that person to cross-examine. She's not here or he's not here anyways.
That's the point.
Okay, so having the name isn't going to help or not help due process.
It will, because I can subpoena that person to come to court.
Judge, I would object. I think if we did that, we'd never have due process because nobody would ever speak up in these
If we don't-
situations. And you
Sorry.
do this, Judge, you're aware of this as much as anybody and more than most.
If we don't do that, we'll never have due process.
You can
Because people
object to
who
the,
don't like my client can write letters and never be and never have and never be examined or cross-examined about it. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing even if the letter is an accurate letter, just because it turns out to be in a court file. What is that supposed to mean?
so I guess you objected to the letter based on hearsay. And my perspective was, my response was that I'm not entering this for the truth or validity necessarily, but just the fact that a letter was given to my client, period. On that
And
basis, you don't need to know anymore.
Well, then the letter has no validity and it has,
That's
It should-
your
it should-
opinion.
it
I think
should
it's
be-
valid. I
it
think
should-
it's valid
that-
that people are complaining
excuse me.
about something, whether it's true or not.
that letter should be quashed and not used as evidence. If, I know counsel just wants to interrupt me, so let him finish and then I'll speak.
I'm sorry.
He's
I
not
don't
going to
mean-
interrupt you. We will pick up Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. with your request to quash Exhibit C, the letter dated 2/22/2021. There is an email address in the chat to Mr. Herman and to Mr. Brand. If there are documents that we have not already discussed that you intend to present, please forward them directly and we will resume Friday at 1 unless you have anything further, Mr. Herman?
No, Judge.
Anything further, Mr. Brand?
No, thank you, Judge.
I will see you all on Friday afternoon. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Judge. Take care, Mr. Brand.
Take care.